For today's Voices for the California Nation, I'd like to address some Californians that I don't normally call out. People who are sort of on the left. And I know these people very well. Some of them are my friends and family. Sometimes they're basically the sleepy left or the oblivious left, and almost always the institutional left here in California. Often these people are called centrist Democrats for some reason by the cable news shows. Don't ask me why, because whatever that means, I've never actually seen one here on the West Coast. For California's particular brand of left, it's all about that special issue. Because more often what we see are Democrats who are massively passionate about one or two issues, like trans rights or police brutality or climate change or homelessness. It's a big list. And for the life of them, they can't understand why the rest of us are wasting our time with every other lefty issue they are not passionate about. Even going so far as to consider these other issues as being fringe and or too controversial. By the way, these are generally good people. People just, don't get me wrong. They see the need for huge systemic changes to fix America's various social problems. But, and yes, you can usually discount everything said before the word but, they're absolutely convinced that no matter how dysfunctional America has become, fixes can be made incrementally by just voting for Democrats through a couple of election cycles and making minor adjustments to the existing broken system. America's going to be fine, they think. That pesky right-wing fascism thing is just a fad. We can stop it if we just believe that America is inherently good, and if Democrats can just reach across the aisle and then we can all sing Kumbaya together, conveniently forgetting that this has never really worked, which trivializes the fact that people usually have to die before Americans even take notice of a problem. And people have actually been dying to try to fix America and ultimately failing for over half a century. Close your eyes. Think about it. Is there any reasonable point at all in California going on in a country where Democrats have to be led to an issue by the smell of death or the outraged scream of a victim's pain just to have that issue trivialized and fought by Republicans who fear solving that issue may inconvenience the wealthy or hurt their privilege? Because even if those Democrats Californians are relying on to fix America ever miraculously find victory, the issues of those hard-won social gains is never really resolved, because Republicans will ceaselessly fight to inevitably have those social gains nullified and rolled back later through the courts or state houses or even the federal government itself when they come to power. See the Voting Rights Act, Roe v. Wade, for example. Nope. Even with all the California Democrats still believe that they can simply bitch an issue into resolution on the internet in today's USA, they believe that somehow magically they have a right for their opinion to matter, so the world will hear their voice crying out for justice. And then a Flavor of the Month hero on MSNBC will just fix it, while they sit there all safe and smug, anonymous and untouchable, in the comfort of their own home, partially hidden behind a keyboard and a monitor screen. Yeah, I know these people, and so do you. They talk income inequality while defending capitalism. They talk social justice from the safety of gated communities. They drive massive SUVs to climate change rallies. Yeah, I know them. because they are the people that fill my Facebook feed every day with their memes and articles about their own personal causes. But get bent if I ever post a Cal Exit is the answer meme on my own personal feed. They are the people that say we have to send California money out of state to Democratic candidates to fight out some issue of state Republicans who get pissed when I point out that if California secedes from the USA, we wouldn't have to care about these people anymore. They're the ones whose total level of activism consists of eternal internet vigilance and showing their I voted sticker on their TikTok channel after each election. They're the people that know everything they need to know about American politics because they watch Rachel on MSNBC. And isn't she wonderful? Yeah, I know them. And they're deaf and they're blind. Listen, as DNC partisan people 2,500 miles away on the other side of the country that barely registered the existence of anything west of the Mississippi tell them how great America's circus of a federal government is. Newsflash. California's on fire. Has anyone else noticed that the federal government is AWOL? Or that America just lost another useless $1 trillion war in Afghanistan with 773 California soldiers dead who should be alive right now? COVID is running rampant while the homeless are choking our streets and America's crossing the $30 trillion debt line. And despite your I voted sticker, every poll out there indicates that because the Republicans have nationally exploited every trick and loophole in the federal and state constitutions, the Democrats in Washington are going to lose the House and maybe the Senate in 15 months. And with the new gerrymandering and voter suppression laws that have gone into effect in most red states, it is unlikely the Democrats will regain control for at least another 2 decades. So, not to disturb your blissfully ignorant sleep or anything, I'm just going to say this with all possible love to my fellow Californians, particularly the Democrats who can't seem to tear their eyes away from this fascination with the federal government train wreck. The modern virtual gridlock of left versus right in American politics have been going on for over half a century. From Martin Luther King to Black Lives Matter, for just an example. Fast forward. As a Californian, look out at the horizon, and you'll see the Republicans, by hook and by crook, have ensured that the red versus blue battle against white minority rule will probably go on for the rest of the gridlocked 21st century. Don't believe it? Did the almighty $1 trillion a year American military not just lose in Afghanistan because of politics? Just like they did in Vietnam? Past is prologue. If anything here were unrealistic, it was my Democratic fellow Californians putting faith in Democrats in Washington, D.C., despite the Republicans winning at their gamesmanship, the federal government's dismal modern track record, and the USA's built for California to lose constitutional structure. Not my faith in California independence, which would bring a smaller and better financed government closer to home, automatically making it more accessible to the will of all Californians, and out of reach of most of the people and problems that plague the failing USA. Face it, you've lost the argument, and California independence would be a better option. This is Voices for the California Nation. We are Red Star Report. Tonight, Shankar Singham has the night off. So let's go to talking points. Tonight on Talking Points, we address another frequently asked question that goes, what would California do about the drought? And what about water from the Colorado River? Well, if you've been watching the news, this is an honest question, and it deserves an honest answer. So let's start with the Colorado. The Colorado River accounts for only about 10% of the fresh water Californians use, and that's mostly here in Southern California. Most of that water goes to Southern California cities that are already looking to build desalination plants, improve catch basins, and reinvest in water infrastructure. So if we outright lost the Colorado River, it wouldn't overly affect Californians very much, particularly considering that California Governor Gavin Newsom just signed legislation calling for 15% reduction in water usage by early July. So we're already there. Besides, California is currently party to a 7-state compact guaranteeing us a share of the Colorado River water. If we do negotiate independence, whatever agreement came out of that negotiation too couldn't get ratified without Southern California's vote. So it's likely that inertia would win, and California's water rights would just become part of a 3-country versus 2-country treaty, U.S., California, and Mexico, rather than just U.S.-Mexico. Which makes sense if you look at a map and realize that the Colorado from the southern tip of Nevada south to the Mexican border defines our border with Arizona. Half the river is in California there, so there's no real way the U.S. could stop California from pumping water from a river that runs for such a distance through California land. So if California leaves the United States, what would California do for water? Well, it just brings up a counter question and talking point. What difference does being part of the United States make for dealing with California's drought? A free and independent California wouldn't suddenly have more drought or less drought. And the USA hasn't done anything to really fight climate change or alleviate the effects of the drought in California in the first place. So if California is already on its own to deal with the drought anyway, then independence would only give California more resources to deal with the drought in the first place. This is Talking Points. That's it for this week. Check out our website at www.redstarreport.com. Transcripts of Talking Points will be posted there. Also, be sure to subscribe to our Red Star Report YouTube channel. Please go find our Red Star Report Facebook page, Twitter accounts, Instagram, etc., etc. Because if you want a real California Independence Movement media group, it's all about the algorithms. Our thanks to you and to all you Red Star Rebels for watching. Have a great weekend. We are Red Star Report.